Welcome to Vita Day 2, ladies and gentlemen. Vlog every day in April. And today's topic, we are going to be talking about failure. Because this is something that's kind of been on my mind a lot lately, and specifically with this channel, because I failed. That is the easiest thing I can say when it comes to Juice from the Box V2. I failed with this channel. Now, a lot of people would be like, you got over 1,000 subscribers and you got this channel monetized and it got noticed by MrBeast. How is that how is that a failure? It is well, I actually got noticed by another channel too, but that was just because my Twitter was involved. Yeah, the reason why I say this channel is a failure is because I set out. If you ever saw the original video, the first video, the intro video for this channel, it was me doing like kind of a little, watcha type of video, and I said, this channel is going to have no niche. If I want to make videos about movies, I'm going to do it. If I want to make videos about comics, I'm going to do it. If I want to talk about politics or whatever, I'm going to do it. Like, it didn't matter. And I was just going to make the best videos possible, and they were going to be on this channel. And I think if you go back and watch the catalog, now, I have, unfortunately, privated some videos. Those videos might come back in the future, whether that be re-upload or I just, kind of make them not unlisted anymore. Some of those videos are gone, but I do think that I genuinely tried to make the best videos possible. I mean, some of those videos I absolutely loved. The booby video was one of my favorite videos because it was just so random and I put so much visuals in it and it just seemed really great. Squid Game one I thought was really awesome as well. And there's just a bunch of other videos that were also deep dives that I thought were done really well. And unfortunately, they didn't really take off, right? Like they didn't get the traction I was hoping to. And that happens to everybody on YouTube, okay? It's not just like, well, I mean, I wish I could say that, but I've also seen some channels literally blow up off of one video. And I don't know why that was. It's weird to break the secret sauce, but I don't know. Some people say that they can make any video go viral. Other people, will say that, but they also don't show that they've done that before. One of my best examples is there's a video. I don't know this creator's name. She is very successful when it comes to shorts. I forget her name, but I saw this video of her and she was the title was the creator that can make anything go viral. And I believe she even talks about going viral in that thing. But it's only shorts. And I think she said her next goal was trying to figure out how to do long form. And the last time I checked, which it's been a while since, her long form videos didn't get that many views. She had millions of subscribers, but she was getting 40,000 views or something like that. I could be wrong. And maybe it's changed since then. But, there are people that say they know the secret sauce and then it only works for certain parts of YouTube. And I don't know, I was kind of hoping that I could be in my mind, because I've heard it from so many people, they're like, as long as the video is good and as long as it has an audience, the video will do well. And it's very hard for me to believe that, because I made a video about Squid Game, and Squid Game was fairly popular at the time because the video came out when the new series came out, the reality TV show, and that thing was being talked about a lot because there was so much controversy and all that, and that video went nowhere. So I was like, okay, well, there's an audience for it, but it didn't go anywhere. And then, the craziest video that I had, the biggest video on my channel, is about the Verbalace controversy. And I was like, okay, that did well. And then, of course, obviously, the MrBeast and Rosanna stuff did well as well. But, if you go back and watch those videos, they were so, well edited, and people even left comments that way, and the information was solid. And they still didn't do anywhere near as good as the slop channels that just farted out videos every day or whatever, And so that takes a toll on you as a creator, for anybody that doesn't admit that, right? But, my goal was there is going to be no niche on this channel, and I'm just going to make the best videos possible. Well, after taking a short break and kind of coming into 2025, realizing that I need to maybe take a step back from YouTube because, you know, if you guys didn't see that mental breakdown video that I had, go watch it. I explained a lot that happened back in November. After that, I kind of realized I was doing too much and I need to really focus on what I want in life. I'm sure I'll talk about this in another video during this whole Vita vlog series. You know, I've definitely, my priorities have changed this year in focusing on what I think matters, what I care about, and really, I think kind of what I want out of life. A lot of it has changed. And I asked myself, I genuinely asked myself, I'm like, maybe you're just not good enough for YouTube. Maybe you just can't crack it. Yeah, you had the comic channel like 8 years ago or whatever, and probably a decade now. I don't even know how long it's been. You know, you had the comic channel, and that, you know, you got, what, almost 24,000 subscribers at one point, and then you burned it to the ground. Then you had the reaction channel, which got over 10,000, which is nice. And, like, I've been able to grow channels, which is cool, because not a lot of people can say that, right? Like, so there's something there. But I was like, you know what, maybe I'm not the 100,000 subscriber creator, maybe I'm not the 500,000 subscriber creator, or maybe I'm not that million subscriber creator that I believed I was in my mind, because maybe I'm a little stubborn. And I think that's what I realized. And I think the reason why I say I failed is because I think it's true. As much as I want to be a rebel and as much as I want to do things my way and be a creator like we used to back in the old days, and like everybody just cared about personality and like didn't give a shit about the topics, where I think I failed with this channel was taking the risk of not having a niche. I genuinely believe that is the truth. And for the most part, yeah, that's basically it. I do think that is my biggest failure coming into this channel, is I just don't know if you can grow without a niche. Now, there are going to be outliers. There's always going to be outliers. And there are going to be people that seem like they don't have a niche, but if you really dig into it, they probably have a niche. And I knew this. I spoke to friends about this idea. And a lot of my friends were like, I don't know, bro. And look, I love my friends for being real with me. I am somebody that also considers I don't like to sugarcoat things, but I think my friends also know, they're like, you know, Juice is pretty fucking stubborn, so maybe he's gonna just have to learn the hard way. And I did. I'm glad I was able to actually get this channel over 1,000 subscribers and monetized. And, you know, that's cool. That's cool. But, you know, it is also not what I wanted. I was kind of hoping that this channel, after a year or so, with the amount of time I put into the content and like the topics that I thought were good and maybe we had an audience, I was hoping that we would have got to 10,000, you know, at least. That would have been cool, because then I can really tell myself, I'm like, dude, you know how to grow channels. Look, this is your 3rd channel with double digits. And that would have been awesome. And then I could have had, like, that would have get me motivated to try to get to 25 and then 50 and then, you know, 100. But it just didn't go that way. You know what I mean? And I had to really look in the mirror, and I had to really be like, maybe everybody's right. Maybe the only way you grow on YouTube is by having a niche. You need to have something that people are going to latch onto. And it's unfortunate, right? Because there is this large group of people that are like, we want original content, and we want new creators, and we want this. But that also large group still does what the YouTube algorithm wants, right? And I talked about this in the last video. If you guys didn't see that, not the last video is my Karen video, but there was a video about YouTube is officially cooked. Go watch that video. I kind of explain what everybody does there. I don't want to regurgitate it for the people that actually watch that video. But I always held out hope that, like, maybe we'll get back there. But it just seems like there's so much money to be made on YouTube that it's better to just follow the formula than be a creator. And that sucks, because I think there are so many people that have so much to offer in this world. And I do think that if you stay consistent, even doing your own thing, eventually you'll more than likely find an audience, because I have continued being a creator for over 10 years, and that's how I've been able to grow multiple channels over that 10-year plus period, is by staying consistent. But unfortunately, I went from comics to gaming to spicy video games all on one channel. That failed. I did the reaction channel. Well, I did the reaction channel before that, but I did the reaction channel. That grew. Then I stopped doing that, and then I created this channel. And so if I would have stayed consistent with one thing, like just being myself that whole time, like let's say after the comic stuff stopped, if I were to pick up a new thing and just stayed with it instead of doing the reaction channel or doing something else, or maybe if I would have just kept doing the reaction channel, that would have kept growing, that would have kept going. But I always switched it up. You know, I always felt like I needed to do something else. I felt like I needed to fit into that algorithm, and that's kind of the problem. Like maybe any of my channels could have been bigger, better, had I just stayed consistent. So I do think consistency is the biggest thing that you can do as a creator if you are going to not follow the algorithm, and maybe one day one of your videos will pop. Because I will say, the one thing I do enjoy about YouTube right now is they are starting to feed people random small creators, and I click on those videos every once in a while if you got like a catchy title, or you know, you just look cool, because some people are just like interesting, man. Like some people just have an interesting look, and I'm like, oh, I want to see what this person has to say. And they'll have like 100 subs. Like I follow some channels that are under 1,000 subscribers right now that I think make some good content. And so it's, you know, I do think that you can still build an audience that way, and hopefully you'll get lucky. But it's like, how do you get lucky? You know what I mean? How does YouTube pick that one particular channel and feed it to a bunch of people? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's ever been, if I'm that person for you, let me know. Because I'm very curious. If you've never seen me before and you were like, yeah, this Vita thing just popped up on my channel and I took a chance and I watched it. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad that YouTube feeds that to me. Or feeds you to, you know, feeds me to you. That's what I should say. But, you know, I think there is a big portion of me that does believe you need a niche. You need something. And maybe like, I saw a video talking about like this being the new norm, or like not the new norm, but a new way to vlog. And it's these one-shot vlogs, which these are just old school. And the guy called it like old school style or old timer or something. He mentioned the word old in it. And he used the creators of like Sam Sulik. And then there's like this old guy with a mustache. He's like a cowboy farmer guy who does like wisdom stuff. He does like these one-take vlogs. And then I think her name is Madeline RG. I don't know how to say her last name. But she does like one-take videos and like podcasts. She does like a vlog and then a podcast. And it's no editing. It's kind of just exactly like this video. And this person was like, see, these creators exist. But, and he was trying to, I think the video was painted in a way that like, people want authenticity. People want real. People don't care about all the zoom, 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 which I've always believed. And that's what I loved about old school YouTube. Granted, I love the Smoshes of the world and the Ryan Higas of the world and all that. Like, they were Jenna Marbles. I love that shit all day long. But for the most part, I think the charm of old school YouTube was this personal connection. And I think that was awesome. And I think I'm too caught up on that. You know what I mean? It's part of me doesn't want to let that go, because those are some of the most like best times of my life, to be honest, as a creator. Like early YouTube, it's unfortunate that a lot of the new creators that are going to be massive someday are never going to really know that. You know what I mean? Like they're probably going to take off because of TikTok or Instagram or wherever they get popular, and then of course they start a YouTube, or vice versa. Like Speed, like the biggest live stream YouTuber in the world, one of them, if anything, probably doesn't know that old school feel. He's never going to know that, but he's also got bajillions of dollars, so he probably doesn't care. I don't know. But it was a different time, and it was cool, and it was awesome. And I don't know. I think I'm just too caught up on that, and I think I realized I had to admit to myself that this experiment, this channel, trying to be, you know, doing things in a niche way was a failure. And it's okay. That's okay to be a failure at something, as long as you realize it, as long as you can admit it. Because I could go and be bitter about it, right? And be like, man, really, that guy over there, that guy is getting all the views. Like, what the fuck? My video is so much better. No, what does that do? It doesn't do anything. It would bring your mood down personally. It makes you put out a pretty terrible perception into the world, and it doesn't really benefit anything. Because if anything, let's say you're talking crap about somebody, like, oh, really, that guy, and that person sees your video and they're like, oh man, I wish that person the best. Like, they're probably going through some stuff. They look even better. So like, well, why even do that? I know it makes you probably feel a little bit nice in that moment that you're like, oh, I just, I know I could be better than that. But it doesn't really do anything in the long run. It's better to be like, how can I change, or what can I do differently? Or can I just stop caring? Because that's probably one of the best things you can do, is if you want to just make videos, if you just want to be a creator, if you just want to be an artist, if you want to just be a writer, then just do it. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of what I've kind of forgot about YouTube that I really loved, was just fucking doing shit. And like, stop caring about the views. And if they come, they come. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is. But I think I needed to be real with myself, because I think there was always a part of me that was like, as long as you have so much confidence, your videos can be great, everything. I figure that it could get picked up by the algorithm, right? But I think the biggest thing I understand is not even just knowing that it's probably best to have a niche, because I had a niche with the comic stuff. I had a niche with the reaction channel. Like, I've always had technically a niche that has grown those channels. I think the thing I really realize is, as much as I know about the algorithm, I still don't know shit. I genuinely don't. Because my job works with some pretty big channels, and I've seen those channels grow from 0 to 1 million, or 0 to hundreds of thousands. And yeah, we're working in a niche for sure. And I'm just like, fuck. Like, everything I've seen grow has always been because it was one thing that people were going to keep coming back to the channel to do. And I think it's just a hard realization to really like sink your teeth into, that people care more about content than personality, where it used to be different. And I think that's kind of what I finally set my mind onto, is that people will care about the personality after you've made enough good content, right? Like, Moist Critical can post anything he wants. Like, he can talk about literally anything and people are going to watch it, because people now like Moist Critical. But Moist Critical has openly admitted that without Ray William Johnson, the old school YouTuber, he'd be nothing. Like, Ray William Johnson gave him his life because he made a stupid video on the internet of him just having fun, and Ray William Johnson, showed it on his show, and bada bing, bada boom, Moist Critical becomes a superstar. Doesn't mean, Moist Critical pumps out content, so the dude is a workhorse. But his videos weren't doing anything prior to that. I don't think they were. Obviously, I wasn't there. But yeah, like, sometimes like that, like, sometimes you need a break, or sometimes you need to just constantly do something. And I think that's the reason why slop channels do so well. As much as a lot of people hate slop channels are doing exactly what people want. Their niche is to just talk about drama. And unfortunately, in this society, we love drama. I mean, look at every news station. You're seeing every political headline, all this stuff. Everything is so sensationalized to make you scared or to make you angry, because that's such an easy emotion to pull on. Whereas I could make a happy-go-lucky video, and some people are going to be like, you're faking it. Faker, nobody's that happy, you faker. And it's just so weird that we live like that, right? And I think that's why people just care about content now, and not necessarily the personality, because some people think personality can be faked. And maybe that's where it comes from. I don't really know. Or maybe people just want the slop. They're just like, give me I just want 1 million Batman videos. Give me that. I don't know. But yeah, that is one thing I wanted to talk about. It's something that's been on my mind for a while. I've probably hinted at it in a few videos prior. Just kind of talking about, I've always just wanted to mention that this channel was meant to have no niche. And I did it for a year. It didn't work out, so I failed. The experiment failed. And that's okay. At the end of the day, that's okay. Still going to make content. I don't know how often it'll be made. I'm going to take my time with it. I'll talk about what I want. Again, I would have never posted that Karen story had I was still trying to make like the most great edited video ever. That video I was just like, screw it. I think if anything, if I just keep making content, I don't mind one-take vlogs, you know? And I think maybe that's the best thing. I've tried YouTube for so long, man. I haven't been able to figure it out. I don't know what works. I know I can do a niche, but I couldn't tell you right now if I have a niche I want to dive into. I genuinely don't. I have some stuff I could work on. I have a couple of ideas. I'm not going to talk about that. That I could do that are very niche-centric. The only thing that worries me is, will I love those niches in a year or two of doing that? Because that's what happened with the comic stuff, right? That's the scary thing about a niche that nobody ever wants to talk about, is if you fall out of love with it, you're kind of fucked. That's what happened to my old channel. Like, you can't, it's very hard to go from one niche to something very different. You have to like slowly feed people off of it, and even then you're still gonna lose creators, or you're gonna lose viewers, I should say. So yeah, essentially this whole thing is, YouTube's fucking hard, man. YouTube is a hard thing to do, and yeah, but it's okay to keep trying. Also, don't give up. I mean, if you really want this to happen, if you really want this to be your thing, never stop trying, never stop learning. That is the biggest thing. But also realize that, you know, having a niche is probably the smartest way to go. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Vita Day 2. How do I turn this off? I don't know how to end these things yet, but I'll see you in the next one.